Y'all gotta see this. So Brittney Griner has just been banned from the WNBA after this situation with Caitlin Clark is going viral, where she made some extremely racist remarks.
WNBA's Brittney Griner is in fact a man. You could possibly speculate, okay, is Brittney trans then? What's the situation here? But there aren't any top surgery scars. I don't give a fuck about women's sports.
So the Atlanta Dream just pulled the ultimate sneaky move by alleged benching Brittney Griner indefinitely. And no, it's not for the reasons you would think any player should be benched. Poor performance, injury, none of that. Allegedly, they benched her because of a DNA scandal that they have been trying to keep under wraps for weeks. But get this, players are now starting to speak up, and it's bad. So bad that it's looking like this could take the league under. Because if what they're saying is true, then this wasn't just a team decision, it was a coordinated cover-up, one that started the second Brittney's test results hit that private lab. And the best part of all this, it was someone from inside the WNBA who leaked it. It literally doesn't get messier than this, guys, so let's get into it.
Have you noticed some of Brittney Griner's strange behavior behind WNBA Commissioner Catherine Engelbert? This may be the real reason why she is still in the league.
Okay, before anything else, we have to talk about the dramatic moment when Brittney found out she was being given the boot. So, Brittney Griner shows up for pre-game warm-ups, fully suited. According to witnesses, Brittney didn't limp into the training session or something. She had no signs of injury. She looks perfectly normal. But 10 minutes before tip-off, the head coach pulls her aside. The conversation wasn't publicized, but witnesses didn't miss the tense reaction from Brittney as the coach delivers the news. Eventually, it was revealed that cameras caught the tail end of the conversation, and as you can see, Brittney looks confused at first. Then she looks pissed, and then she just walks off. Shortly after the news got out, the Dream PR team dropped a non-health related personal issue statement thing to explain Brittney's sudden absence from future training sessions and games, but that's not even the wild part. Within an hour, 2 of Brittney's teammates from the bench posted the exact same thing on IG stories. Y'all still protecting this? LOL bet. But just like the earlier statement, they both deleted before they could start making the rounds. Now here's where things take a downward spiral. Remember that whole rumor from back in April? The one about Griner allegedly failing a private DNA verification ordered by her ex? Back then, people thought it was just internet noise. But what didn't make headlines is that the lab results actually got leaked to a WNBA exec. And guess what? It turns out that it wasn't just a paternity issue. It was a full genetic mismatch.
Brittney Griner is clearly a man. Why is she able to play in the WNBA? Behind this lies 3 terrifying truths. Brittney Griner has been married twice. Although she has publicly acknowledged that she is a lesbian, she refused to undergo the Olympic medical examination. This is because she was born with a Y chromosome and has multiple characteristics, including male characteristics. However, her parents preferred girls. Griner was assigned female at birth, and her legal gender identity is female. This is why she can play in the WNBA. This is the key factor in her eligibility. Additionally, BG undergoes hormone therapy to adjust her physical characteristics to align more closely with her male identity. As a result, she possesses a masculine physique, which is extremely rare in women's basketball. Especially at 6 feet 9 inches tall, she holds a significant advantage over physically weaker female players. Since Brittney Griner joined the Atlanta Dream Team, the team's ticket sales have skyrocketed, attracting a large number of LGBTQ fans. Her transgender male identity has brought broader attention to the league, but it has also subjected her to more hostility and criticism. For example, in a recent game, she was accused of intentionally striking Caitlin Clark's throat with her elbow, and subsequently made some inappropriate remarks on the bench, sparking intense discussions among fans. So what do you think about her gender?
What's interesting is that insiders claim the league went into panic mode immediately this little detail dropped, because up until that point, it was clear that the team had been willing to sweep the whole thing under the rug. But with a paper trail like that, there was no telling who could get their hands on such a sensitive piece of information.
Brittney Griner, she said at a press conference that she will be speaking out about trans athletes being allowed to play. I believe if you've been transitioning to a woman, but you still have the strength of a guy, you gotta play with the guys, man. That's how I feel about it. But Brittney Griner, we got you home. Slow down.
So here's what changed everything. One of the league's own medical advisors allegedly shared the findings with the Dream's front office off the record. However, someone in that office wasn't playing ball because they didn't waste any time forwarding the lab findings to 2 players. But it wasn't just any random 2 players. It was 2 people who were already side-eyeing Brittney Griner for months. Now, it's not like they had anything personally against her. They apparently just had the feeling that something was being covered up, and those documents confirmed their suspicions. Right after they saw the documents, Brittney got benched and they dropped those suspicious IG stories. And that's when fans started wondering if they benched Brittney to stop this from going public.
BG, right now you have 10 points, 5 rebounds. We see the Atlanta Dream as being very... Right now she's talking to the refs about holding. We're going to send it back to you guys.
Very important questions there, I'm sure, for Brittney Griner. She said sorry.
Now, here's the part that many fans don't know. The Dream's locker room hasn't exactly been united lately. Ever since Brittney Griner joined, insiders say there's been tension, especially with younger players who felt like they were forced to accept her status. One player reportedly told her agent, "I'm not sitting next to someone who lied about who they are, and I don't care who's protecting her." Another player, who's conveniently now on leave, was said to have confronted management directly, demanding a full team disclosure about Brittney's records. As expected, management refused. Mind you, this was before the documents ever leaked. And not that the confirmed results have been making the rounds in private circles, the silence from the team says everything. But here's where it gets even messier. This isn't just a team issue anymore. The WNBA league office allegedly advised the Dream to keep Griner off the court indefinitely while they evaluate next steps. But they're not saying that publicly though. The official statement was taken down within minutes, and from all indications, the team and the league's management intend to keep this from the public eye till further notice. Meanwhile, league insiders are running around trying to figure out who leaked the report, because it wasn't supposed to leave the lab, and the fact that it did means someone with access, someone higher up, wanted this exposed. However, looking back, the signs were there. Remember when Brittney skipped that press tour earlier this year without any explanation? The WNBA said it was fatigue, but now we know that's around the same time the DNA results came in. Also, remember when she was suddenly pulled from a Nike campaign in May? They never announced why, just quietly removed her name and likeness. Then there was the weird moment when a teammate visibly dodged her high five during a televised game. Yeah, none of that seems random now. What seems more likely is that certain people have been taking note of all the behind-the-scenes drama, the politics, and the cover-ups, and they were fed up with it.
Man, what does this clown know? He originally denied breaking laws in another country. Play the clip.
I think it's a crime, honestly, to separate someone for any reason. So I definitely will be speaking up against that legislation and those laws that are trying to be passed, for sure.
It sounds like he's speaking from a place of experience. And what was a crime was when they released you from prison. I'm just waiting on the whistleblower that shared the locker room with this Sasquatch to go ahead and come forward with the elephant in the room. The amount of females that are hell-bent on erasing women's athletics in the name of woke politics is just staggering to me. Also, let's not forget that sports is also an avenue for affordable, if not free, education. So allowing a biological male to take up the spaces of biological females in sports is only robbing them of more opportunities. Everybody deserves fairness in sports, which is why biological women need their own category.
A scandal of this scale should have had official statements flying around like confetti, but it's just been silence. Even worse, none of Brittney's teammates seem to care enough to support her publicly, even though this scandal could quite literally ruin her career. So the real question becomes, what's the league actually trying to protect? Because legally, the WNBA can't force a player to disclose personal medical data unless it impacts gameplay. But if a player's gender identity or genetic data directly contradicts league eligibility rules, that's a whole other issue. Interestingly, despite the league's alleged attempts to protect her in the last few months, some execs allegedly secretly hoped the medical records would become public so there would be a valid reason to throw her under the bus. But this isn't just about policy. It's personal now. Sources close to the Dream say the locker room is split into two camps. On one hand, some think the league should have protected Griner's privacy at all costs. On the other hand, some players feel lied to, like they were forced to share a locker room with someone who never gave them the full truth. One player reportedly said, "We've been told to stand for equality, but when we asked for honesty, they told us to shut up." Another leaked screenshot shows a group chat where multiple Dream players were asking if management knew the whole time. When you remember that the league spent a fortune promoting its No Space for Hate campaign, it truly puts things into perspective. And the worst part? No one's answering.
The WNBA's Brittney Griner is in fact a man. You could possibly speculate, okay, is Brittney trans then? What's the situation here? But there aren't any top surgery scars. I don't give a fuck about women's sports, and I think that most people probably don't care about women's sports, except the women who have been training their whole life to make it on a women's sports team. Like, if this is a successful transition and Brittney is on cross-sex hormones, that means that Brittney has more testosterone, artificially induced testosterone in their system than their female counterparts who they're playing with on the team.
All right,
so it's unequal, it's unbalanced.
There is fault there.
And also, if he is a male, then it's messed up from both perspectives.
Yeah, the only way that she's totally innocent is if she's actually a girl and has always been a girl.
As for Brittany herself, she hasn't said a word about any of this. Not on socials, not to the press, not even through her reps. And that's rare because she's not the type to just go quiet like that. But people close to her say she's completely devastated. Not because of the benching, but because she never thought it would get this far. One insider claims she was trying to handle it privately. Allegedly, she even offered to sit out a few games voluntarily while they figured out what to say publicly. But it just wasn't enough. The team went ahead and benched her without warning. Unfortunately for everyone involved, the internet knows now, and it won't take long for people to start demanding answers.
Everyone deserves the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats, and feel safe, and not feel like there's a threat or they can't be who they are. Definitely will be speaking up against that legislation and those laws that are trying to be passed, for sure.
Oh, and this isn't just affecting the Dream. Other teams are quietly reevaluating their own internal records. Meanwhile, sponsors are nervous. Nike, Gatorade, and AT&T have all reportedly paused upcoming campaigns that featured Brittney Griner, even the ones already shot. And several outlets have stopped publishing pre-written WNBA features until the league makes a public statement. In other words, this isn't going away. Somebody has to answer for all this, and the more they push it away, the more complicated it gets. Now here's where the plot turns again, because apparently the leak didn't come from the lab. It came from within the WNBA, and not just any random staffer. Multiple sources now say the whistleblower is a former player turned league official who allegedly felt like the truth was being buried for politics. She hasn't gone public yet, but insiders say she's preparing to. And when she does, heads are for sure going to roll, because she's reportedly planning to reveal how long the league knew about the issue, and why they chose to cover it up instead of facing it. Now this is where things get chaotic because the public opinion is coming in, and it is not looking good. Some fans are rallying behind Brittney, saying she deserves privacy, and that none of this should affect her career if she's performed well. But others? Oh, they're furious. They feel like the league manipulated the conversation around identity and inclusion, but only to protect marketable faces, not to actually tell the truth. And guys, the comments are getting ugly. Screenshots from Reddit threads and Twitter spaces show fans demanding an eligibility audit for every WNBA team. Others are calling this the biggest cover-up in league history. And honestly, they might not be wrong, but here's the thing nobody's talking about. Brittney Griner was never just a player, she was a symbol, a headline, a human talking point. And if what's coming out now is true, it just proves that this symbol was built on a foundation nobody double-checked. Now that doesn't make her a villain, but it does make the silence around her case feel even louder, because the question isn't just, what did Brittney do? The question is, who knew and why did they stay quiet? And now that Brittney is benched, the dream is imploding, and one leaked test might just blow the lid off the entire WNBA, because if this was a cover-up, the fallout has only just begun.